hello there, and welcome to Blast Backstage Miami, baby. Woo! We're here.
Hi.
It's on. We're here. Hey guys, how's it going?
I think you're adequately dressed. You got
Thank
the shirt.
you very much. I thought this was quite a savage shirt to go with.
There
Adam
you go.
Savage, your main guy, for the first portion of today. Welcome to Miami. Welcome to you guys as well. I'm joined right now by a Vendetta Maniac, Henry G, and Launders. Guys, welcome to Miami. How has your time here been so far?
Sweaty.
Sweaty. It is.
Yeah.
You've had
very
2 months
hot.
to acclimate to U.S. climate.
Yeah, it's a humidity here, though.
It is.
I wasn't warned about that.
It's a bit sticky.
Got a wet back, you know. I'm kind of covered in
A
sweat
wet
right
back?
now. Yeah.
All right.
It's,
Okay.
it's a little bit much, but it seems nice here. It's
It does. It's a lovely place. First time for all you guys? Have you been here before? First time? For you?
Second time.
Second time. Okay. Launders, you seem like you're very seasoned here in Miami.
I've never been to Miami. No, I've
You've never been
to
here
Florida.
before?
No, I've been to California a whole bunch. But yeah, humidity is a whole different beast here.
It really is.
What about you? You actually.
I've been a few times.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like to frequent in Miami. I get a chance to.
Okay.
That makes it sound like I'm here all the time. Twice, 3 times maybe. but
So
yeah,
we're
here
a
we are.
local expert.
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly. What's very apt, though, I think, is the fact that we're here in the home of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and you are sat just like a boy band, which is
Yeah.
great. Which
the
is
worst boy
do we?
band in the world.
Yeah, the worst.
I don't know. You haven't heard
Would
us sing
not
yet,
be-
so
Like the X Factor rejects, right here, which is great. Lads, we're here to talk about Blast. What an amazing series this is. We started in Sao Paulo this year, and here we are in Miami. What a great place to be for some CS action. Let's talk a bit about the location as well and the teams playing here. First things first, Sao Paulo was great. Astralis out-and-out winners. Were you surprised by what happened in Sao Paulo ahead of this event? I'll start with you, Vendetta.
I mean, for me, I guess you can't be surprised by Astralis winning at this point. What was pretty exciting and somewhat surprising is seeing NC's ability to maintain form for that event. Again, obviously, crazy finishing round versus Liquid, ending up in a draw that sent Liquid to the finals. That was super exciting. Just a lot of positives, you know, from teams I guess I didn't expect it to see it from, and also a bit of a disappointment performance from a certain hometown favorite.
Yeah. MIBR didn't really do great, did they?
Yeah, they lost every round, including the standoff.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. But people did like the standoff map. The new map looks really good.
The map was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every cloud, like, I guess.
Yeah.
But what happened with MIBR? What do you think went wrong?
I don't know. It's still going wrong, so we're just trying to figure that out. Yeah, it's not been good.
I feel like it's a case of more maybe burnout at this point. Like I feel like they've tried to play every single event in the run up to this tournament, and it's not going well for them. I feel like just taking a step back from the tournament circuit and just kind of maybe focusing on the theory side of the game might be more beneficial for them, because I think they were expecting a lot more than they got. And maybe it was quite a humbling moment. But I always say you learn more from your defeats, but they haven't got enough time to really necessarily fix the problems they've got. That's been the main issue.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, because there are so many CS events. Obviously, Shanghai was only a few weeks ago, and you
Shanghai.
that
was
was a couple of days ago.
Days ago.
That was last week.
You were there, Maniac.
Yeah, we were there.
How was that experience?
Shanghai was really great. A lot of maps played, so I guess it gives us a good idea. Obviously, Navi looked extremely strong in Shanghai. I'm looking forward to see if they can bring that kind of performance here in Miami, because Liquid and Astralis weren't here, so we don't really know what kind of way we can put to that victory. But Simple and Electronic were absolutely phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the teams, they're all actually behind us right now. They're picking and banning their maps right now for their matches coming up over the course of the next couple of days. They're going to start popping up on the screen, and as and when they do, we'll start taking a look at these and seeing.
Should have brought my glasses,
how
boys.
exciting.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so,
there you go.
So first up, we have
maybe that'd be better,
MIBR have banned
they
Inferno.
actually do.
Is that a surprise, or were we expecting that?
I don't think you could say that's necessarily expected. It's a map
No, that is kind of odd, to be honest.
But
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
fair.
very good map on Navi.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
more of
think
a
that's-
respect.
But
map.
MIBR have been picking that as their main for the last few months,
so
right?
normally you could float it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd think
At the
they'd
very
at least float that instead of a straight out. It is best of one, to be fair, but still, like the fact that they don't want to play it at all.
Okay, this is, again, like, how many respect spends are you going to give Navi, though? Because they're banning out Train as well, which has been one of the very few positives on the side of MIBR.
So Nuke is still in it. Nuke is still in the question.
How much of this is based upon the team you're banning maps that you know
There you
they're going
go.
to be successful on, or trying to get the one that you want specifically? Do you think it's all about banning their best ones to
I
get
think
to one that you
Just
can
never
have?
ban your good ones because someone's better than you. That's
Yeah.
I think the main thing. Always get rid of at least the maps that they're the best at that you're not good at first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically, you try to find the ratio of like where the biggest gap is in the maps, and that's what you go off of.
Yeah.
But again, like different teams have different, I guess, ways to view it. Some people just always want to go for removing their own weaknesses because they feel really confident about their remaining map pool. Some teams feel like, well, if we're going up against Astralis, we have to ban Nuke and Inferno. because we're never going to beat them on those maps. That kind of a thing. So even regardless of how good they are, because you can be the second best team in the world on a certain map, but if you're going up against the very best team who just refuses to lose on it, you know, you have to adjust accordingly. So it varies a little bit from team to team.
So your opinion, MIBR versus Na'Vi, Nuke is the map.
Who do you guys think?
It is surprising
weird.
because Na'Vi have been playing Nuke for quite a while now. I think it was a map that they would float and not really remove, right? They were not specialists on it.
Well, here's the thing,
but
right?
MIBR keep going on trying to make Nuke one of their maps.
Right,
it hasn't really worked out that well lately.
That's exactly the point. I mean, they've got to do something else because in the last 10 games they played, they've only beat Panda and lost to every single one of the other top 10 teams in the world.
Panda are pretty good,
apart from Fnatic.
Don't
underrate them at all. I'm just saying that is their only win.
Let's take a look. Astralis versus Cloud. We have
how do Astralis get Inferno? How do they get away with Inferno in best of one?
Because you have to remember, Cloud9 have probably played like 3 days together, right? So they probably don't play like, what, 4 of these maps?
Completely new lineup.
So this is like completely new lineup. We've got Cajun coming in like last minute.
Bice as well. And then Golden finally
you've got
back.
You've got to keep it pretty standard.
This is the most significant discrepancy that will maybe like one of the most that we'll ever see on LAN. It's the #1 ranked team versus the number 143 ranked team.
Yeah, that is.
So they've got to try something.
We've seen in the past that, you know, Cloud's lineup changing a lot. They've actually during the Blast Pro events, they've actually done pretty well in some of them, despite the fact they're chopping and changing the lineup.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was like Lisbon, right, where they had Refresh standing in for themselves.
Copenhagen was surprising.
As well.
Copenhagen, I thought they were, you know, getting blasted by everyone, and no, they actually made a very good showing. They beat a lot of teams. So you're like, oh,
okay.
So I don't want to count them out yet.
But I think we can all safely say that Astralis probably will.
They are
maybe.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they still seem unstoppable right now. They seem to. I mean, even in Sao Paulo, it was just a whitewash, wasn't it? The entire team.
But it is fair. Like Inferno is kind of weird. Like I think of all the maps. Like even the lesser played maps, like I think they're stronger. I always say that their run on Inferno's even better than run on Nuke, just because more teams are good at Inferno.
Yeah.
But we've got another veto.
We got FaZe and Liquid here, and it looks like Nuke is the map.
Nuke again.
Nuke again.
It's a popular one these days.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a good map.
I'm actually pretty happy about that. I've always been a big proponent of Nuke, even though I rarely get to play it because everyone. It seems like if you're not at a pro level, or even if you're at a pro level to a certain extent, like people just have this innate fear of the map because it's a technically difficult map.
What's the fear about, do you think?
It's a technically difficult map to play. I mean, it requires a lot of excellent communication, obviously, like an understanding of how to play together as a team because of rotations being so difficult for your CT side. So I think a lot of that comes into it. So when you're playing with, if you're playing Pugs, then obviously that your coordination is not going to be on top. So everything becomes a bit of a mess and you lose games you're not meant to lose. So that leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth. But I don't know. I love the map, and I've always loved it. So I'm happy to see it being more and more brought into it, especially in best of ones, which is not something you'd expect.
That's what's crazy about it. Right?
Speaking of best of one, do you think Cash will be played a lot less this tournament, conconsidering it's on its way out?
I think it's not going to be played at all.
Yeah, you just think that people are going to avoid it completely?
That's my call, simply because, well, for those of you who don't know, Cash has been removed from the active map pool. This is the last tournament where we get to see the map.
Is this been updated now?
No, this is round 2. So round 2.
Okay, right.
Round 2. So we're looking at round 2 now. They're picking balance to this.
Nice.
So round 2, we have Cloud9 and Liquid Overpass. Surprise, fellas? Or is this... I mean, who's going to take this?
I guess that's a good pick for Liquid, right? If you're Liquid, you have to be happy seeing Overpass. But Cloud9, as we touched, like, new team on a map. Overpass, that's very tactical, very, like,
It's one of the few maps they have played, though. This is one of the few. They've got, like, 3 in their wheelhouse right now. But the thing is, Liquid, this is one of their absolute best. They look like monsters on this map. Like, at the Major, we saw them, like, just absolutely beast people on Overpass. Their coordination on the T side's unstoppable. Their aggression is actually not as, like... common as you think on the CT side. They're quite a passive squad and quite a slow one now, which is strange. But still, there's the firepower in itself. I feel like Cloud9 are going to have a really
kind of interesting. Like Liquid even banned Dust too. So they I think this is the best map they could have expected.
So here, this is also surprising. Like we saw Cloud9 allow Astralis to get Inferno, but they're not going to allow Liquid to get Inferno.
It must mean that they feel comfortable on Overpass.
Yeah.
Because the video is so different than the game against Astralis, then they actually made the conscious choice to play Overpass against Liquid. So we have to hope they know what they're doing.
You'd hope, right?
They've had good practices on it.
When it comes to practice in general, do you think teams are practicing the same maps over and over again, or the maps that they're not necessarily good at? Are they then trying to branch out and try and better themselves playing those?
You have to judge each case on its merits, right? Cloud9 are coming here with absolutely nothing. They've got like 3 days to prep. They've just got to concentrate on 3 maps, and luckily the best of one tournament actually works in their favor. You can just actually focus on those and actually play them potentially. But it's still another game where Liquid are the absolute heavy favorites.
Yeah,
like no chance maybe.
Yeah,
one of those situations, unfortunately.
Our next round 2's in. FaZe, MIBR have gone for Mirage.
This is actually, I think, a matchup where both teams are very comfortable on Mirage.
Yeah.
It's not like trying to play on or like punish someone for a map or play a map that they don't really play. It's supposed to be a good map for both. Very good result all across the board. Very good individuals on the map. So yeah, that should be a really, really great game.
Yeah.
Is there anything interesting about MIBR? They just don't want to play Inferno. Like they had the choice here, basically.
I've been saying this for months. I can't understand why MIBR's map pick, their go-to was Inferno, because it's just not good.
Right,
so their T side relies so heavily around Cold Zera. It seems like it's difficult for them to actually win games of it. I feel like they're maybe moving away from that idea now, not relying on one player, and they can still play it by the looks of things, but they're actually not forcing themselves into it like they used to, which is kind of interesting. Maybe in the best of 3s we'll see them play more.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time I'd see this matchup, and it's on Mirage, and I think FaZe are probably like pretty heavily favored.
I think Yanko's old team as well is going up against.
That's right.
That's going to be a bit of some mind games coming in. Yeah.
I mean, the way the Blast series is structured as well, obviously, we have the first 2 rounds on Friday, tomorrow, and we have the rest of the games coming up on Saturday. Do you think it's most important to play the kind of like get the easier games out of the way first to guarantee those points going into the Saturday, or does it not? Do you want to get the big boys out of the way first?
There's only 5 rounds, so you got to kind of just like every game really matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other round's up already.
Yes, it is. Indeed, one of our round 2 matches tomorrow.
Potentially one of the best maps of the whole event.
Big matchup. This
is
Inferno.
a massive one.
So Inferno is actually like stats-wise the best map for Na'Vi.
Yeah.
So that should be a good thing. The problem is they go up against Astralis, who still rock 100% win rate past 3 months on live.
So Astralis'
kind of
both maps of Astralis on the first day are both Inferno.
How comfortable must that be?
Yeah, that's to be a banger of a game still though. The fact it's simple, electronic, ready to go. Like that.
Are they by the pool right now, just thinking, let's just relax, lads. We don't need to actually do much. Let's just kind of kick back and enjoy ourselves.
The worst they can do is overthink at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, because of how Na'Vi showed up in Shanghai, I would actually give them a fair chance to upset Astralis this tournament. Obviously, the vision is probably a little bit skewed because Liquid and Astralis were not here in Shanghai, so maybe I exaggerate in my mind how crazy Na'Vi was. But if it ever happens, then that could be here. That is very exciting.
If I recall, this is what happened back in Blast Copenhagen last year. We had Astralis Na'Vi on day number 1 in round 2, and the same thing happened, and Astralis lost to Na'Vi, and they went on to take it.
I think that's right.
Was it the final then, Astralis Na'Vi then? Or was it the final Copenhagen? I can't remember.
In what?
Wasn't Astralis.
Wasn't Astralis.
No, it wasn't. No, Astralis didn't make it. You're right.
It wasn't Astralis.
They were in the show match.
Wait, are you talking about in Copenhagen?
Yeah.
It was NIP Na'Vi, right?
NIP
That's right. Okay. Right, next round 3. Well, this is on the Saturday matches.
Overpass again.
Yeah, Overpass. Here we have Cloud9 and FaZe. Overpass, big map for which of these 2 teams?
Well, it suggests that Cloud9 are looking to play this one for other tournament. They probably have Inferno, Overpass, maybe a Dust2 thrown in there, or Cash, something like that. But yeah, it looks like that's where they're comfortable to play. The thing is, FaZe have been working on this map a tremendous amount in the last few months, and it's just another match, but I just don't see a world.
They've always been good at it. But
the numbers are really
Nico hates Overpass, which is the funniest thing, because he's kind of the head of the snake right now, right? Like he hates Overpass, but he's IGLing for the map as well. So he's got to struggle with that. Like Rain's one of the best players in the world on the map. So he obviously wants to enable him. But they run the risk of him not being happy.
Do we think it's surprising that they actually opt to go for Overpass over Inferno? Because obviously FaZe had the choice there at the very end.
Well, isn't that the no? They allowed Inferno against Astralis. Is what we said, Cloud9, right? So
Cloud9, yeah. But again, FaZe wouldn't have knowledge of that, would they?
I guess it's because FaZe
there's ways to
they were
find
really good on Overpass. Now it's going really down.
We have a new map Overpass again between MIBR and Astralis. Finally, Astralis play a different map in this series, which is nice. Variety is everything. But MIBR, how do you fare those guys playing against Astralis on this particular one?
I mean, to be fair, Astralis, like this is not the Astralis of old on this particular map. I don't think.
So at the major, there was the map where MIBR played really well versus Astralis on Overpass.
The 16-14
Since the major, they just look like a completely different team though for some reason.
It seems like MIBR at the moment have got a lot of situations where they do take a bit of a lead, a substantial lead, but suddenly kind of like the halfway point of that first kind of half, they suddenly just start to bottle it, and the other team, it's just
it's crazy.
Breezes through to the end.
We talk about like theory and stuff, but it feels like they're using none of the stuff that they've worked on for all of these years, all of a sudden, for no reason. So I wonder why. Because they have the strats, they have the defaults, they have the input, they have Fallen. I'm sure he doesn't run out of ideas, and if he does, he's got like Cold, who is also like kind of a secondary at times. and yet they are not doing half of the stuff that they practiced for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we don't want to get too deep into numbers, obviously, but there is a stat that's crazy. Is the amount of rounds that MIBR lose in 5v4. And that is really weird. For the longest time, they were supposed to win this round. We would say, they have the experience, they know how to handle these situations. And when you look at the top teams now, they have one of the lowest rating in that 5v4. So I don't really know if like identity crisis or trying to mix up the game style a bit too much, so that you lose track of what actually works for you. But it's definitely an enigma for me, like the MIBR situation.
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely. Next one's in. We have Liquid versus Na'Vi.
Oh, that's
big.
strong.
That's a good one.
Big match.
Inferno
big
as
game.
well.
Nice.
That's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
I mean, where do you think this one lies, guys? Who do you think is going to take this one?
Man, I don't know. Right
This
now,
is like straight up
maybe
50-50.
Na'Vi? Maybe
Yeah.
Na'Vi.
Yeah,
Yo,
maybe
honestly,
a bit of an edge to Na'Vi, considering they come straight off the back of a tournament where they've played so well.
Yeah,
Like,
but the
they
thing
have
is that,
nothing but
that
confidence.
surely exposes them somewhat, because
Yes.
we don't know what Liquid have been grinding. You know they are grinders, Hal.
Well, the
They're gonna be
that
the
is fair.
last time they played Inferno, they said they weren't. It was at Blast. They said they weren't that
But
comfortable
that was
playing on
Naf,
Inferno
right?
for some
But
reason. He did the
didn't
interview. Yeah.
Dren say like right after Naf had that interview, it was just like, I have no idea why he said that.
Why he said
'Cause,
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, apparently that was
They love it. Yeah.
because he said like they hadn't been practicing Inferno as much. But Dren was just like, no, just straight up not true.
just
Really?
like
Okay. Well,
just
Sandbagging
he just had a
people.
moment. Just had a moment.
It makes
head
sense
went.
because they were always kind of the second best Inferno team, and then when they lost to ENCE at the major, like, wait, how good is their Inferno? You know, like where is it at?
Yeah.
I think there is a problem with Nafly and Stewie at B. They like, especially at the major, they like kind of took turns dying, and so I think they're having trouble.
that
holding that
was
tight.
something I
Do you remember
noticed
that?
actually. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it seemed
on
like
that
one
big
of them was
comeback.
aggressive and the other wasn't. It's like they couldn't
Yeah.
find the synergy. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the most difficult things to learn in a team, getting
that's-
the B-bomb
yeah.
side.
That's the
So-
same issue that MIBR had for the longest time on Inferno. I think that's why so many people lost faith in their Inferno, because when Phelps came into the lineup, you had Cold and Phelps, who are just two very different players. So again, you had the kind of rotation system where, okay, this time I'm going to go aggressive and die, and you play passive on the site. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
We've just had
That is
our
interesting.
penultimate round, the first matchup. We've got ourselves Astralis and Liquid there on Overpass. Astralis can Overpass again.
I'm going Liquid on this
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
Never
really?
liked
Big,
Liquid,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Big.
look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
this,
it.
this is our final from Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
This matchup right here, which was Liquid took the first maps. Anything could happen here, really. If I remember correctly, it was I think was it it was
I have it
Overpass
out
the
what
final.
map
Wasn't it?
actually Liquid won versus Astralis in Sao Paulo. What
No.
map was it that they won? Because they won the first one and then they got
Was it
basically
Dust two or
polished
Dust-
on the
They
second.
They
I think they
definitely
won Dust 2 and they lost Overpass.
Maniac.
Yeah.
What's
That's true.
What's Astralis' Overpass look like right now, stats wise?
Overpass is actually one of the only maps they look human on.
Okay.
Like there is a
Exactly.
Mirage and Overpass where they
And
they
Cash
can
was in
actually
play.
Compared to
beat.
the X-Men on
Yeah,
every
that's
other
the
map.
thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Overpass, and the fact that it's actually one of their weakest, quote unquote, map, and then one of Liquid's best map. I agree with you, Henry. Like
Yeah.
I would give Liquid an actual chance if they show up on that particular map.
Yeah, yeah. I think going by the last. I mean, I can't wait for this matchup as well. You say there's a
Yeah.
lot of these teams here are so strong.
Yeah,
like they're really
no.
strong.
It's the beauty of it.
I'm wondering when people are going to start saying about Cloud9. I think going to pop up shortly. When we're going to stop saying, "Oh, anything could happen," because the lineup's always different. Nothing. Anything. Who knows what could happen? When's that going to change? Hopefully soon. And they've got a more of a solid lineup going to the next kind of series and things really. But it's looking good so far. Round 4. I mean, this is where this is the real kind of the big stuff happens in round 4. This is where the points are really, because people are playing for that third position as well.
Yeah.
For the show match opportunity as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there it is.
Speaking
we got
of which,
a cash in there.
we have a cash.
we have a cash.
Cloud9,
We-
why not? Give it a go. You got to roll the dice.
Yeah.
Why
New
not?
team map that's going to
Yeah,
disappear.
exactly.
This
It's
is
like
a surprise for both,
changing,
right?
anything
They
can
both have
happen.
that.
Yeah.
magical
Yeah,
last
exactly.
ride.
It's
I guess.
NA home tough. So
Yeah.
get it done.
Apparently, they both have way bigger map pools than we thought.
yeah.
You say that now, and then you're going to watch them play on it, and you're like,
I think MIBR are playing on at least three different maps at the 4 rounds so far. They're one of the only teams doing so. How does Cash fare for them and their history with the map?
The thing about Cash is that it's a map that has plateaued strategically for the longest time.
Yeah.
So there is no really
much has
specialist in
changed.
that sense. So it's more about like individual decisions, routines. Everyone knows how to play the map, so you cannot count on everyone to show up. So in that sense, MIBR, that could be a good map for them, because Coldzera being Coldzera, Fallen has had a lot of impact with the AWP on Cash last time we saw it. So why not? I understand the idea.
Doesn't that also worry you a little bit though? Because again, you said it like 2017 Cash is pretty much the same thing as 2019
Very
Cash
closely, yeah.
in terms of how it's played. And yeah, at that point it comes down to what the individuals do and how you work together as a team. But that's pretty much what's been going out the window for MIBR as of late.
Yeah.
It's like what Laundry talked about, the fact that they're not necessarily doing all the same stuff that they used to do that was successful, and we can't really pinpoint why.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't it? I mean,
it looks bad for them.
Yeah,
anyway.
especially because you can't convert, advantageous rounds.
Okay,
yeah.
We have a next round 4 matchup, which is FaZe Na'Vi on Overpass, lads.
More Overpass.
Yeah, lots of Overpass.
Lots of this is a crowd favorite here in Miami. It seems.
Overpass and Nuke being
It's
the
a
most
beautiful
played
map.
maps so far, I think.
Inferno's
Inferno's
Inferno in there as
and
well.
Catch.
Does anyone
Which
ever
is
really
still-
play Train?
so-
Does that ever really happen?
Yes,
Yeah.
does?
Here,
Okay.
actually, Nuke plays it.
Not
Astralis
versus
plays
Astralis.
it. Navi plays it.
Yeah.
Liquid kind of shy away from it, if I'm not mistaken.
They can play it.
They can play it.
It's
Yeah,
just
no, they have a
we
good-
tend
they have
to
a good-
mainly see Train when we get to the final. That
and-
seems to
and
always pop up.
Ents Liquid or Ents.
Ends definitely.
Yeah, Ents definitely.
Yeah.
One actually big, I guess, question mark for me is the fact that in Sao Paulo, I think we saw Astralis play, 4 out of 5 Dust 2 games?
Yes,
Something like that. It was a
that's
lot of Dust 2. We
Yeah.
haven't seen a single Dust 2 pop up so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those maps people are getting away from though because it has a quote-unquote random element to it. Because it feels
Yeah.
like lesser teams can take you down because it's not that strategic at all. If you talk about tactics, the same strats have been run for the last 5 years on Dust 2.
Yeah,
to this
pretty
day.
much.
Yeah.
So
Is it
Yeah.
long control or are they going
It was
mid
a
B?
bit-
Sure.
It was a
Yeah.
bit disappointing when the new Dust 2 came out. I was hoping
I
to
thought
see
it
More or less the
like
same, yeah.
new things, new elements to it, new
Yeah.
way to approach
They played
the
it
map.
real
It's pretty
safe.
much rinse and repeat.
It's
Take long,
exactly
take
the same.
catwalk.
They're the same
B-split.
executions as well.
Oh,
Like,
fake A split to go a B. I've never seen that before.
I've seen some
Yeah.
slight
Disappointing.
variations. Some people like on the mid splits now, like towards B, they're focusing a bit more on CT spawn and sometimes going
Yeah.
through that. That's
Yeah.
about the only innovation.
Remember once
I've
when
seen.
Freiburg jumped off Cat in 2015, and then ever since then, everybody started jumping off
Yeah.
Cat and just splitting B
pretty
that
much
way.
it.
Yeah.
We're looking to round 5 in a second, lads. The final round
last
of our of the Blast
Wow.
Pro Series ahead of our finals.
Oh, look at that.
Again.
Here we go. Oh, what a surprise! Overpass pops up. Great. We've got Liquid and MIBR there kicking things off with Overpass.
I mean, they both. I think Fur is the best player on Overpass in the world. Period.
Okay, you heard it right there.
So I
At least the
problem
most
is-
aggressive, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like
That's fair enough.
Rain learned how to play his spots from Fur. Like
But
all
the
that
thing is,
pushing
though,
A.
that's absolutely true. But the thing is, people are aware of how he played. He
Yeah.
dropped off significantly once everyone was very aware that that's what he did.
That's what I was
right?
going to
And then-
say. Like, it's just the problem is you can look at the map, you can look at the teams and their history, but it almost doesn't matter because the last month has just been so dramatically
Sure.
different.
Yeah.
Just to note, that's MIBR vetoed Inferno first there again. So
Yeah.
they're not even floating that at all. Like in a
No,
best of
that's
one
not-
veto
I
like
guess
this, you could
it
wait to
means
the end,
they've
right?
learned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I've been mad for like the last 6 months saying, why didn't you pick an Inferno? Maybe it's actually working itself out now. So it makes sense.
When
All
you're
comes together.
coming in, obviously off the back of the MIBR kind of Sao Paulo series where there was a lot of losses there. Well, all losses.
Yeah.
Coming into this, what's the mindset ahead of picking these maps? Do you think it's straight off the bat they've gone no? These are the ones we want
I
straight
think
away.
they
or-
maybe just gutter everything. That it's like, you know what, everything's gone so wrong now. Let's just change everything completely and go over a different
Why not,
approach.
right?
The thing is, it's
Completely.
difficult until we see a best of 3 veto. It's difficult to see where they're
Yeah.
really heading with this one.
Yeah.
But I feel like they just want to move away from Inferno, but it hasn't worked out for them.
Yeah.
Just maybe shy away from that completely.
Yeah.
So
Overpass again.
Overpass again. There
Has
we
to
go.
be the most played map so far in the
Cloud
group stage,
Na'Vi.
right?
Yeah. I think
Has-
Na'Vi would, I guess, expect to take this last matchup.
But here's
would they
the
not?
thing, right? Like, have people been practicing versus Cloud9 and they've been dumpstering everyone on Inferno? Is that what it is? Because, I mean, we talked about, well, you mentioned the fact that Inferno's been Navi's best map statistically
yeah.
as of late, right?
Mhm.
So they should feel confident taking on. I mean, if they feel confident going into Astralis
That's true.
on a Inferno, surely you don't fear Cloud9. So what's the reasoning for them?
I feel like it's just one of
Going
those
away
maps where
from
Cloud9 are, in any map, they're going to look comfortable. It's not Na'Vi
Yeah.
don't want to play it. You're just trying to take away some of the strengths from Cloud9.
Yep.
On their CT side, they've got Automatic, right, who is absolutely phenomenal at opening up the map and making things uncomfortable. For a team that's very regimented like Na'Vi, that could be difficult to handle, I suppose. So maybe just trying to shut down that factor and make them feel uncomfortable. But Cloud9 have picked Overpass, 3 times now?
yeah,
So
they've
it might not,
done
be,
it a lot.
might not be the end of the world for them.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, this is the business end of everything as well, going into the last kind of the last round and the final as well. At this stage, who do you think personally is going to get into that final? Who do you think is going to make it all the way this time round? Who would you like? Who would you
No,
like?
what?
Who would you
What's
like
the
to
dream
see?
final?
What is a
Ooh,
dream final?
The dream final
Yeah.
is
I
you
think
get Liquid and Navi, you throw them in an arena, right? You have them fight to death, and then the winner
Oh, you
actually gets to
Hunger
play
Games
against
it.
the
It
others.
just Hunger Games
that's
the whole
thing.
thing.
Well, technically,
yeah.
that's going
That's
to
how I
happen,
wanna
right?
see.
If
Yeah,
Astralis win all the rounds, then it's going to be between
Yeah.
Liquid and Na'Vi.
Yeah,
So we kind
exactly.
of
And it
will
was
have
so
that.
that
You
Sao Paulo
say
was so
if
tight as
Astralis
well.
win all the rounds, they don't historically do very well at the Blast events.
No, they do.
So-
It's
Yeah, this
only
is true.
Copenhagen.
Only-
Yeah.
It's only Copenhagen.
Is it only Copenhagen?
I think.
Is that the
yeah.
only one?
I think they
think
won.
probably, yeah.
They won Sao Paulo. They won.
They won Lisbon.
They won Lisbon.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they
they
have.
won
Okay,
Lisbon.
maybe I'm just
So
holding on to stats there.
Speaking of Astralis,
I wasn't at Sao Paulo, to be fair. So that up.
That's all right.
we missed you.
Yeah.
Henry. Speaking of Astralis, we have them against FaZe on
Ooh,
Dust 2, the last
finally
map
Dust
in
2.
round 5 for those guys. how's that looking for either team?
I feel like it's the only map where I would maybe
give FaZe a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Give a chance to FaZe.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if ever on any map,
Okay.
why not Dust 2?
Yeah.
That's the thing. If ever, then yeah, sure. Individually.
I just getting flashbacks to the major when Complexity had them on the ropes, man. It's like that's.
Oh my God.
I'm sure they've done a lot of work since then, but it's still a scary prospect. But Dust 2, this matchup with the amount of skill on the server, that's going to be a really, really cool match to watch. Like,
I think if we take Sao Paulo as a bit of a, I guess, measuring stick for FaZe, I think that matchup ended up in a 13-16 loss for FaZe Astralis.
It was a close game. It might have been a close game.
Yeah, because Astralis played everyone close on Dust 2 pretty much throughout the entire, I guess, group stage of Blast at that point. So I'm actually kind of liking FaZe's chances for an upset here in that sense. But again, I think it comes more down to the fact that it feels that way because everything else is just so out of the question, which is kind of what Mathieu alluded to.
Okay, but who gets second place?
Second place in
between
what?
In this turn? I mean, who gets into the finals besides Astralis?
Let's
say we give it to them.
It might be recency bias, but I'm thinking Navi.
Navi, yeah.
Like Navi looks so
I actually
good.
think I think they need another shot of it at Astralis. You know, like that. We want to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
The
Liquid have
best of
had
three.
enough attempts at this point.
Yeah.
Do you-
No, fair enough.
I mean, who do you think's got the more confidence of the two teams right now coming into this?
Probably
has to
Navi
be
coming off
Navi.
of start. Yeah.
Because of how things went in Shanghai, it was really dominant. Both Simple and Electronic being so crazy up. That poor guy, poor Electronic, no one talks about. Like,
I know it's
plus
crazy.
100,
The only team that could possibly get outshadowed.
As you mentioned, there is a caveat though. Liquid and Astralis were both not at that event, so
Yes,
they might have
for
looked
sure.
like giants there,
Yes.
but they were missing their absolute rivals. So
Yeah.
maybe that's a factor. to
Yeah.
Maybe the perfect primer.
Yeah, this is great storyline going into this tournament. There's,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a lot
it's
going on here.
Which we live for the narratives and the story. The storylines are everything, right?
Absolutely.
For you guys, it makes a massive difference, I think, to the whole kind of show and things as well. But go ahead, Minnie.
No, the thing is, we were talking about Navi and Liquid being obviously the challenger, and I agree with it to the full extent, but it's the best of one. I think about NIP,
Absolutely,
FaZe,
yeah.
Cloud9. Is it typically like a scenario where that teams could just pull a lot of trouble and then win, 1 game, 2 games suddenly with system, we have a final that's really unexpected. So I don't want to get like too, what's it called, like when you forget something and you're too focused on Navi and Liquid. Because yes, I would see them in final against Astralis, and I would definitely see Astralis in the final.
Yeah.
Because it's best of one, because of the map system. FaZe, NIP, best of one, that's never going to be an easy game.
Yeah.
Ever. So
It's never been better to be the favorite team in a best of one. Though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen one of the big things that we obviously do here at the Blast Pro Series is the player cards. We love a player card with ratings. Apparently, I don't know why, it might be the shirt, I have no idea. I've been nominated to have my own player card done this week, and you guys get to choose what the categories and the numbers are here as well.
Okay.
Oh,
This is a first for me.
I already
okay.
know
Just
what
think
the
about
first one is
So-
going to be.
Carrying this over?
Obviously,
Are you going to put?
I think. Do I put this over my face? When
it's done, when it's
Leave
done.
it there. It's a nice
With
shot,
the first category is hosting skills, which is like I'm terrible. So this is the. This
What's
is
it
the
out
worst
of,
thing.
out of 100, right?
Out of-
I think it's out of
Top
100.
Top
yeah.
Trump sort of vibe going on here.
Just going.
Okay. Well,
If
we need some
every category is at
categories.
19.
I'm gonna hang this here.
I'm
for-
gonna be
I'm going to go
devastated.
with category number 1. Just
Okay.
off of the shirt, fashion sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
So
London's-
fashion
Maybe like
They've got to see
fashion
it-
posting
they've got to see it on the
Fashion
camera.
sense.
You gotta-
Gosh, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah, but I've just got to take the thing off the thing.
Oh,
Okay.
the thing off the thing. Sorry,
Yeah.
that
Alright,
makes sense.
just so on the
Paint
same
this
page
in.
here, this could genuinely ruin
Alright,
me
so
and my
this will be
ego
fast
forever.
then.
Like ruin me. So
Fashionista.
just fashionista.
Yeah.
Okay. I get
Fashion
great.
East
12. Get a
Yeah,
12.
so
Just forget the
fashion
rest this
East,
and
morning.
then
No.
it's out of.
So I think yeah.
Can we just write the word fierce in there? That would be good.
yeah, I'll take that. I'll take this.
Wait, out
Thank
of
you.
100? Are we going out of
Yeah, so
100?
let's do hosting skills. What would it be, lads? Be honest.
You are
'cause,
very- you are-
Frank
you are-
was here
he's
last
right
time.
here.
She's
Hand
way
on
better.
heart,
You're
don't
an
be too
excellent
honest.
host, man. You do a great
Yeah.
job.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
I'll
We're
give
looking
you a solid like 93.
Yeah.
No,
There has to be room for
Right.
improvement. There has to be room for
96,
improvement.
Yeah.
What do I need to get to that 100?
That's the thing. I didn't want to give you
I would
100.
like to-
Give you
That's the
something to
problem.
Yeah.
kind of-
See you do a
Aspire
backflip on
to.
stage.
Yeah.
A
Can you do a
backflip
on
how
stage?
stage?
How is
That
your-
would be
Jeez,
95.
Come on.
How's
come
your
on.
cartwheel?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
1.3.
That's
It's-
what
it's-
to work
yeah.
on. Get that
I mean,
up there?
look,
Okay.
I'm 6'4" of just
Yeah,
meat.
sure.
I just fall.
There you go.
I'm like a sack of potatoes. Just goes down.
Like for the NES.
Cartwheel.
One of-
1.3. We've already got the
So
rating.
cartwheel is one of my categories. 1.3.
Oh,
Okay.
oh yeah. So then we
So-
need fashionista.
So
as well.
fashionista. what's
Fashionista,
my- what's
like,
my-
Up there.
just
I,
off
I
of the
think the
shirt.
shirt's fitting. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
think so?
no.
Thanks.
I didn't like
But they all can't be high, right?
69. 69.
They can
Sixty-
definitely all be
69
high.
on
They can
Fashionista.
definitely all be high. Why would they? They
Only
can't all be
69.
high.
Yeah,
Because
that's-
then it's
that's
kind of like he's just come out of the most
That's an
seedy
appropriate
club
number
in
for me.
Miami.
Brilliant.
Okay, 69
69 out of 430.
20.
420, man.
Okay,
And
so
then we need 2 categories.
that's
We
almost
got
like
ra-
saying
we
I
got
managed to wear the
We have
right
decimals,
matching
we
socks
have-
this morning. Gets me a
Right.
69 out of 430. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Socks are pretty great.
That's great. Okay, two more
Okay.
categories.
Last two categories.
Okay, and I
What
want
can
an
we go
overall
with?
score at the end. So hopefully that's going to be decent.
So one of the categories I feel like, because I mean, You've got a kid.
I've got a kid.
You've taken your kid to Disneyland.
I have.
Already.
Oh,
Yeah,
dad
and he's a
skills,
youngin'.
yeah.
So I feel like
skills.
dad's
Strength. No, dad's strength.
Dad's strength has to
Yeah,
be like
dad's
Are you going to dad strength?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a solid like
That's great.
LTR, so
That's
really
okay.
high
Okay.
90s.
Oh yeah.
Let's just
all
take a moment here because my son's going to watch this back one day. I'm going to force it. If it's a good number, I'll make him watch it. If not, we'll just pretend it never happened.
I think
So
it's
It has
up
to
there.
be a
I
very
mean,
high-
we
That's
can't
like a
really-
96.
If you take your
Oh,
kid
yeah,
to
well,
96
96,
or
yeah,
Disney
yeah,
World, that
96,
has to be
yeah.
like close to 100.
the regular number.
Thank you very much. I'll take it. So Dad STR. Does that?
Yeah, to make
Dad's
it
strength.
really feel like a MOBA.
Dad's true.
Yeah,
That's
it's like a
true.
Dungeons and Dragons. sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
we
Great.
go.
And one last category, guys. What's the last category? Anything in the world.
Smell, perhaps?
Smell.
Yeah, let me see what you're smelling.
Yeah.
No, I
It's
almost,
like-
wow, yeah, let's get personal.
Take some of this in.
I
Take
almost
some of this
can't
in.
remember what
Take some
Adam
of that.
smells like, which is a
This
good
is strong.
thing. Yeah.
Strong.
Did you want it
Strong.
like musky strong or
Yeah.
not that strong?
That's
That
like some
is
Old
just-
Spice vibes.
Does he
going
smell
on.
like a dad?
Yeah, that's
Pure,
Does he smell fatherly?
unadulterated
yeah,
pheromones.
he does.
Right
He
there.
smells like the
Smells
kindest
fatherly.
father.
Just savage pheromones.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So
It's just coming off musk.
So everyone with
Let's put
Musk.
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 Thank you.
Musk.
You're always
Musk.
good for the.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Musk.
We'll put
Okay.
that down.
That's a
So
solid
what would you give
category.
him, Henry?
Musk.
That's like
Can we
like
give him Elon out of Musk?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I would give him
How
like,
many Elons? How many
an
Elons?
87 of a smell. Like
87
Yeah.
Elons out of
Pretty
Musk.
good.
it feels like a mid-range cologne
I'm
you got
gonna
on right
put it
now.
in
Like
there.
it's not you're going out.
87.
Couple of
It's kind of like a
extra
daytime
sprays.
smell.
Daytime smell.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Daytime smells. You guys do that, right?
Yeah,
Daytime
I
smell,
do
nighttime
that
smell.
a lot. Yeah, I go
Yeah.
for the body odor
87
during the day.
Elons.
and then-
87 Elon.
87
Okay.
Elon.
Not necessarily out of anything.
So
but
my overall blast score. This is going to be tricky to figure out because we've added
we
two
could have a
whole
math
new
skill one here
categories.
after
Because you have
that,
1.3 in cartwheels. That's
Yeah,
a problem.
that does bring you down a bit.
Yeah,
But
it
you
does,
can work
yeah.
on that for Madrid or...
It's not as bad as Frankie last time did the blast backstage stuff. Tried to make me floss in the interview, and I was like, why would I do that?
How did that go for you?
What? I absolutely.
refused, right?
I shunned that immediately. And then why would I do that? Why would
Can you be a face in it now?
Okay,
And
so I'm
look down
on
the camera?
face.
There we
Okay.
go.
Camera one.
At least I've got my headset.
Enhance,
At least I've
zoom
got my
in.
headset on, which looks great.
Perfect.
Yeah, that looks really nice actually. It really suits you.
Solid.
What's my score out of 100?
What do we work?
Production.
How do we
think
think
it-
96, carry the 9.
Is that what?
We're going to do that.
Come on, put my
You get
final
it?
score on me, Launders. Come on, put the final score on me.
Okay, what are we doing? Shoot, I used all of the funny numbers.
I just had to smell him. You've got to do maths of that.
You used all of the funny numbers.
Honestly.
Okay, what is it?
He's deciding.
Depends
He's
on
making
how-
Yeah, he's
executive
making the
decisions.
call.
That's
an
now.
omen.
He's
That is
making
an
the call
omen.
right now.
It's not
Okay,
looking
go. What
good.
is it?
What?
Is it that's on 10, right?
Did you say 10? He's given me 10 out of 100. No, you've not.
I've determined exactly what that is out of.
You've not.
You
mugged me
could
off
add
here,
a number
surely.
in front of the 9
Okay.
here. There is room.
All right.
Okay.
So what? Okay, what is he going for?
Worrying.
99.9.
Oh, I can
99.
actually see it on the
That's
screen.
great.
So you got
Alright,
me 9. Was it a 99?
99.9 because the cartwheel still
My
drags
man.
you
Yes,
down.
the cartwheel is
Yeah.
a problem.
So basically, what we learned from this is, at the end of the day, if I work on my acrobatics,
Yes.
work on
And your
that,
smell slightly. You
and
could
my
have a better
smell.
yeah.
I could have had a better smell. Thanks, Henry. From you,
Yeah.
it means a lot. So I work on my smell and my cartwheels, and that'll propel me into superstardom. Is that basically what we're saying?
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, you've heard it right there, guys. That's
Amazing.
that's the next.
I really
that's-
enjoyed that. That was fun.
That was
Yeah, it
fun.
was good.
Yeah. Next time we can do all of you, and we can make I can make it the
I
categories
feel like
for you
just
guys.
focusing on you is better.
If focus,
Yeah,
focus on me.
that's you're the star of the show. Let's just keep it over that.
So
direction.
thank you very much.
Did
That's
did I
that's
put it
very
in the wrong
sweet.
bubble?
Should I
What's the other bubble? That's
Blast
the
score.
Oh wait,
That's
what's
the
supposed to be?
blast score.
Yeah,
Score.
I
And
guess
what
this
was
is
that
our
one?
I think
score.
this is your score.
Okay.
So they're going to fill in that.
But they got
with
something right.
Legend.
You got
Legend.
oh, there you go.
Legends.
Legend.
That was pre-printed. They
Yeah.
knew.
Perfect,
Go
yeah.
straight up there.
Change
They
that.
Legend status.
They knew straight away.
I'm glad we didn't have to decide on that.
Yeah, I mean, me too. That was fun though. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the cool things about the Blast Pro series. These little things like you can collect the cards and things. You can do. Everyone gets their player cards as well. Who do you think is going to be the top player of the whole tournament at the moment? Who's going to have the biggest Blast
Stewie
score
2K
card?
is making
we-
a comeback, bro.
Are we
He's
taking
coming
risks?
back.
Or
Can I just
He's
go with
coming
a simple
back.
pick so it's just out of the way and
depends,
everyone
like-
else can go wild?
if we play it safe or if we're trying to be exotic? Because
Yeah.
safe is pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
Magic.
Anyone disagrees with simple?
Simple, surely simple or electronic, like that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
simple. Yeah. Okay, I'll go for electronic then.
Okay.
All right.
Take
Lock it in.
How do you-
The unsung hero.
I'll say it. Yeah, he really.
How do you
is
feel
awesome.
about Nafly?
I wanted to say
I
elite.
love Nafly.
Yeah,
He's
I-
he's the Fawns of CSGO.
I'd put him in the conversation as well.
Okay.
I've been loving his work recently.
Okay.
Okay.
So are we not going with any
you said
Astralis
the
players?
Fonz of CSGO.
Yeah, because he's got the pump.
He's got his new hairstyle. Looks pretty legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've seen him bank grenades, he can really play pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Oh.
Not bad.
Okay, so do you say Electronic's our guy who think he's going to be the player of the highest
Is there anything on the
rated?
line here?
Maybe
Do we
the
have
dark
to
horse.
confirm
Yeah.
this,
Dark
or-
horse.
Yeah.
Dark Horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
fair
I
enough.
mean, if we're
Dark
not allowed,
Horse.
should we do it so we're not allowed to pick simple
Can we
because
veto?
it's too
Yeah, let's
obvious?
veto simple. and
Yeah,
then
if
see
you veto
where we go
example.
Yeah.
Obviously, Device is always in the conversation at some point.
That's true.
Astralis is
Yeah,
winning.
true.
Then
He
Device
won
probably get images.
MVP
There's
at
a lot of
Sao
good
Paulo.
players. There's a lot of good
If I'm
players there.
picking out of I guess the MVP has to actually make it to the finals, I'm assuming. Just rating-wise, I think Nico's always going to be up there, but I would probably lean towards Magic, actually, on the side of Astralis, simply because he's been so good for the last, like, 6 months. Again, like, obviously it's a result of the entire team doing extremely well. Everyone on that side has been extremely good, but Magic just as of late has been incredible. Playing the best CS he's ever done.
Yeah, and you think the crowd here as well is going to be all for Liquid? Do you think this time around?
Oh,
absolutely.
So, yeah.
And Cloud9 as well. They're going to be crying out.
Yeah. I think last time in Astralis and Brazil had a bit of a tough time with the crowd.
that was insane. It was insane.
Glaive owned it though.
They weren't huge fans, were they, of them?
Not really, and especially because MIBR gave Liquid their blessing before the finals as well.
Yeah.
So that obviously is not going to help.
That is true. It being on the main stage there as well with all the fans kind of like chanting. Pretty much, we hate Astralis.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's a bit harsh, but fair enough. They
carried it well though.
They carried it very
again,
well.
like being the heel, like Mohan said, it's just like that he did that really well. And you need kind of villains. I guess. It makes for a more fun environment.
Yeah.
Why not?
And again, like if you're able to be that, I guess, consistent villain who, in a fun way that still are able to topple kind of the protagonist.
Yeah.
That's left. That just builds on the future storylines.
It does. Yeah. I mean, I think we've seen as well that all of the teams over the course of the last kind of 6 or 7 different blasts we've done, all the audience are always so just happy to be there, surrounded by the best teams in the world.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Sao Paulo. Lisbon was an amazing experience last year. Yeah. Sao Paulo was crazy. Like the fans, I took some videos as well. Just insane. So I can't wait to see what the Americans can bring to the party. Hopefully, a lot of hype.
And they have a very good candidate, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because they have 2 teams to support with 2 different positions completely. Like Cloud9, nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Might go for some crazy plays here and there because definitely every
why
game
not,
they win,
I think
insane.
The thing is with the Cloud9 is, if they remember, like everyone's going to consider them like the weak team here. So when it comes to the showdown, potentially, like you're going to be picking them. Like you might think that's a logical thing to do, but you break that team down on paper. That's actually pretty remarkable what they could do. They could cash themselves a nice 20K just by being the underdog.
Not a small check.
Yeah, you know that could actually be. Best case scenario for them at this point. They've been 3 days practice, get 20K in here, then go back to the
good return on investment, right?
Yeah, that could be right.
Well, the show map that's been created as well has been an absolute smash online.
I saw
absolute smash. And speaking of which, online, MIB, I'm going to be chatting to you in 15 minutes or so. So if you guys want to get any questions in on social media, we're using the hashtag Blast Backstage. Make sure to get those in. I want to read your questions out to the guys. Capital Blast Backstage, and get those in so we can ask some questions. What would you guys ask the MIB?
Can you ask Fallen if he's learned how to surf?
Ask what? Sorry.
Ask Fallen if he's learned how to surf, because when he played that show match, he did not know how to surf.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel like if they're going to end up in that situation again, like it's probably not going to venture out to the edges of the map. But I feel like that's a pretty basic skill that a pro player should know.
So, I mean, I love the fact you can kind of shoot different bits of the glass out. You can start cruising on the surfing on the sides. Yes, the things falling.
There was something like 300,000 downloads on the map. On the workshop?
Nuts. That's
something like that. I might be inflating here, but that's the number I heard.
Yeah.
Let's say
3 million.
It might be off by 0, but
it's just broken a new record here. It's insane.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane. Yeah. I mean, and getting a chance to talk to all the teams today as well. I mean, what do you think they're feeling right now? Do you think they're very relaxed going into tomorrow? Are they kind of? Do you think because today's like their media days, they get a chance to kind of meet everyone and talk about what they're excited about here in Miami. Do you think tomorrow is where the real business starts, or does it start today?
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know. I've never experienced that as a player, how it is to go into a tournament and have like half a day into the full day. I don't really know what experience is like. So you start today. Obviously, it's only 2 games, but you can already pretty much decide your fate, or almost. Like, it can either be in a very good position looking into Saturday, or you can be backs against the wall. Yeah. It's very tricky. So at the same time, you cannot really take it as, that's the first day, just take it easy, guys. No. You have to start right from the get-go, 0 to 100. Otherwise, you can be in a very bad position. So I don't know how they feel. You must be very excited going to Friday already, and then Saturday is just like... cake. Everything is on Saturday.
Must be nice to start late, like one day, and then just have one early full day.
It's one massive benefit as well. It's actually was good for the spectators. I think the fact we know the vetoes now, and everyone knows what they're going to be playing, they can all go practice now those specific maps and bring out all the tricks, all the little things they've been planning to do. And now it's actually like we're going to see some really cool things. They got like 24 hours now to really hone their craft, and hopefully we see some really great stuff. Even Cloud9 have got enough time now. They've got to play 2 maps, right? I think it's Overpass and Inferno.
Those are their 2 maps already played. They can probably
sort that out in like 12 hours. If they've already got the basics down, they can bring some other exciting elements in. So that's one thing to consider. So not as much hard work required. But you can really focus on those couple of maps you're going to be playing.
Yeah, it's hard to focus. We're in Miami, guys. You know, that's
a pretty hard point. Yeah. That's a good point.
You know, someone says, "Hey, frozen margaritas down the way." It's like,
what are you supposed to do?
should we just go out for a little
if
bit?
It's a strawberry one, I'm down.
Yeah,
that's
strawberry margarita.
Yeah.
What are your cocktails, lads? What are your favourites? Anything particular that kind of really stands out to you?
Anything?
I mean, we're in Miami. You got to enjoy yourself while you're here. Surely.
Yeah.
Once the work's done, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I like to pretend to drink, so I do gin and tonics.
Okay.
You know,
That's a good
like
choice.
really
Solid
blend
choice.
in.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You call that a cocktail?
Excuse me?
Would you call that a cocktail?
We put a cucumber in it, I guess. So.
That, then if you add some fruit,
and it's an umbrella, right?
What's that?
You need to have an umbrella.
Yeah, an umbrella is very apt for here. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
have that. It feels very kind of like very Miami. I think to have that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gin and tonic's a great drink. In the UK, we love it.
We do.
Any chance the sun comes out, Henry knows.
Can't get enough of it, mate.
Can't get enough.
Well, you say every
Can't
time the
that.
sun comes out. When does that really happen?
3 times.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Twice.
we're lucky.
In a
Twice a
lifetime,
year.
not-
Yeah.
We'll be there, complaining about how hard it is.
We've got. Well, listen. Thank you guys so much for being here as well. I've
Appreciate
loved
it.
every second.
Are you
of
going to
it.
keep that? You're going to take it home with
I
you?
don't know what to do. Should I frame it?
Take it home. You should.
for
I think
my,
so.
for my child.
Yeah.
he'll love,
Take
Take it as a carry-on.
Daddy STR. You know, that's
Good. I was wondering, what did you just say? Okay, that's strength. Is where you went. Yeah.
Yeah.
STR.
so you want to? Yeah, there we go. That's me.
That's a
my
lovely
blast card.
memory.
Actually, when you go
I'm-
through immigration next time, just have that around you.
Instead of a passport.
Yeah.
Just take this.
Why not?
Should
It's
work.
you.
Can I see your passport, sir?
Yeah.
There you go. Have you seen cartwheel ability? You know,
1.3, not bad.
1.3. But it could mean that I do 1.3 cartwheels per time I attempt it, which
But
is
that-
actually
doesn't that
better
mean-
than your average.
Well, doesn't that actually mean that you just fall off because you're
Yeah,
a
0.3
third
means you're
into the next
going too
cartwheel
far.
before you topple over?
yeah.
Does that really count?
Shut up, Havel.
Okay.
We've got questions from Twitter coming in. Here we go.
Oh.
We've got questions from Twitter coming in right now, actually, guys.
Oh, glasses required.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
we
how
go.
do you think Cloud9 will do, and who do you think will win the tournament and will be the MVP? We've semi-covered this, but how do you think Cloud9 will do overall? Do you think they can really come to life here in Miami?
One team that should come in last place is Cloud9.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Ever the optimist. I like that. That's nice.
But it is a race to the bottom with MIBR. There is a chance there on cash for Cloud9 to take a map, I think.
That's true. Cash is there. That's
and then they get
actually
to play
something.
Yes, and then they get to play Overpass a few times, which is probably good for them. It just won't, probably be close losses.
Yeah.
So
MVP again as well. I mean,
Is they talking MVP of the entire thing?
I think
he's
it's
getting
probably,
2
yeah.
questions for the price of 1.
He's getting
that's
3.
that's
Wow.
getting 3.
That's
Someone
valid.
got
3 questions.
3 questions.
don't
Wow.
be greedy.
I mean,
Yeah,
be greedy.
It's clever.
we were
That's
talking
fine.
about MVP. I guess I'm going to go with. Let's just do it. I'll go with twists. How about that? Let's throw
Okay.
throw that in
Okay.
there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we take
Fair
a
shout.
risk? Is that what we're
I'm
doing?
taking a risk. Yeah, just kind of
it was
make
a
it
bold
more
pick,
okay.
but it's
Alright, cool.
measured.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
It's
Then I'll
not
go
behind
for Elige if I have to take a risk.
There we go. Everyone's going liquid.
MVP of the whole tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking a risk.
I'll
but-
trade you.
Yeah, something to add to that? Or?
If you say Vice now, then
Well,
That's a
are
real
we
balls.
vetoing simple, by the way?
yeah. Let's
pretty
say
much.
yeah.
So
Okay.
we're not allowed to.
All right, I'll say electronic then.
All right. I'm still gonna side with Magisk.
Okay, with Magic. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And do you think are you basing MVP? Is it would you base MVP on like the amount of whether it be eliminations or whether it be clutches or
There's
would
straight
you-
up
just
rating,
straight up
like,
rating?
overall,
Yeah,
yeah.
overview.
Okay.
Straight up rating, and again, like I just feel Astralis is any player on Astralis could potentially win this because they're likely to get to the finals. With I say rather ease.
Yeah.
That might be a bit of a stretch.
Do you
but
do you think it gets boring, or do you think it's a great thing that a team are as successful
If they can exist, they
successful as
should.
Astralis?
100%. I
Yeah.
think it's a great thing because first off, it pushes everyone else to actually get better. Like,
Imagine not wanting the best team possible, right?
Yeah, it's-
like, what
yeah,
the hell
exactly,
are
yeah.
you
What
thinking?
world do we live
if
in?
that
That's
was
the thing.
possible, why wouldn't you want to see that, right?
Yeah,
it's on
exactly.
everybody else. It's on
Yeah.
your favorite team to do better, not Astralis
Yeah.
to do worse.
So what is
That's
really
ridiculous.
nice that if there is ever a team that actually can beat Astralis consistently in best of 3, then to me it's not going to be that Astralis are playing worse. It's just that team actually caught up to it. Like we're talking tactic-wise, details, team preparation, organization as a whole, like the squad around,
Yeah.
the staff around the team. So it's a very good thing for Counter-Strike, and I can understand that people would hope for like upsets and other teams winning, and I totally respect that. But at the same time, what they do is they pushing Counter-Strike forward.
Yeah.
As they are creating, like everyone is looking at Astralis, and Astralis is looking to the future. Like they are creating the rules, and everyone's following.
Yeah.
So you just have to be thankful for that we
Yeah.
can witness it now. And we're going to probably talk about it in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
We're
this
gonna
team
talk
was
about what's
never
happening
supposed
now.
to happen, especially this late into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool because it's not like this is the first time we've seen it happen. I mean, NIP obviously at the very beginning of CSGO did a very similar thing, but it never got boring because the longer their streak went, the bigger anticipation for when that first defeat would come in. was that much more hype.
Yeah.
So for the first team to actually start beating Astralis regularly, or just winning a best of 3 series versus them, that's going to be talked about, in such a grand scale.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you need to have that kind of stuff. It's not as fun if everybody's just playing subpar CS where everybody beats everybody. You need to have champions.
Absolutely.
Got a really, really funny question.
Yeah, from Anders, Tor Saga. Hope I said that correctly.
For a second, I was thinking Anders.
Yeah.
To us now?
I think that
the Boomster.
I think all questions from him actually just get sent to a different pile.
They get filtered out.
Yeah, they get deleted. Okay, Anders says, do you think MIBR can pre-form, I presume that's perform, better than they did in Sao Paulo? I mean,
Henry, you want to take this one?
Henry,
I didn't see. I was working
answer.
another gig when Sao Paulo was on, so I'm going to remove myself from that question.
Well,
you take the fire.
The result.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be hard not to, right? That's the only thing. Yeah, they won't get the standoff though. So
it's all up from here.
Yeah, there's a chance that they don't get that far, but they should. Yeah,
I think we all want to see them do better than that. I think it was a bit of a, being there at the home fans were obviously so excited to see their team there performing. To have nothing to really get that excited about was a little bit deflating. You want to see them succeed in some,
But it makes when the victories do come eventually, it's going to make them all that much sweeter. You can't win all the time. It's not part of the romance of esports. You need the slump. You need the comeback story.
Exactly.
It's all fine.
It's all fun. It's all
part
good.
of the plan.
It's just a bit scary because some people have said that because of the schedule of MIBR was so crazy. That's one of the reasons why they've dropped off and fallen. But they haven't stopped. Like they were in Shanghai. They're coming here. They haven't really practiced that much in between, so I'm like, why would it change now? I hope it would change. I really want to see them perform again. But it's just they are still on that crazy train of going to every event.
Is it chasing prize pools, or is it trying to chase an event that just suddenly will propel them back into the good times?
It's really hard to say what their thinking is, right? It could be obviously a prize pool, but it could also be that they actually decided that attending events would be a good way for that lineup to build together and get experience and see how it works. But obviously, in hindsight, that wasn't really the best call to do. But it could have been their thought process, like, look, we're gonna go to all these events, gonna figure things out on the fly, and it's gonna go fine.
It kind of makes sense because these days in today's game, you do get a boot camp essentially every event you go to, right? So you essentially get very good practice there. But at the same time, I feel like burnout is a factor, and you're just not getting that time to really focus on what's going wrong. You're trying to plug holes essentially at the event, right? You're just trying to fix things quickly instead of like putting a new system into place. You have to just kind of work with what you have, which is an issue. I think like Liquid has done a great job. They've taken some time off now. We haven't seen them for a couple of weeks, but to see what they can bring to the table. They've got a very hard-working coach. I'm sure they're going to have some excellent stuff to show us in that regard.
Yeah. Also, it might be their prerogative to slow down at some point, but a lot of the events now, they like either got invited previously or they qualified to previously, and so now it's all just coming out, and they've just got to go through this kind of last leg before they maybe take a little break. But how can you turn down like invitations like 100K events?
Exactly.
It's understandable.
Some serious cheddar.
Yeah.
Serious cheddar. Another question is coming from Twitter. Thank you, guys. We've got the Denk Mem. Brilliant. Has said, Blast backstage. If a team finally beat Astralis on Nuke, which team would it be? Who do you think has got the biggest, the biggest chance?
I think ENCE would try to take them on Nuke. I heard that.
They had a good tournament in Sao Paulo. Really, really good.
Yeah, and if they got to the finals, I think there was a chance they could have picked it in the finals, just because like where they're going to pick Dust2, and they might have to play Dust2, but not Inferno probably this time.
They would probably
got
remove
stomped.
Inferno and play Nuke.
Yeah, so I think if any team, maybe them.
And here the tournament would be Navi, I would say.
Yeah.
Because Liquid have slowly picked on Nuke, but I don't feel like they ever really worked on it and built something on it, whereas Navi actually used to play Nuke more regularly. So I would say in this tournament, I would give Navi a chance. Probably not anyone else. But like that's a chance.
And then that's probably still the second best team behind ENCE, right? Like who else would?
You mean on Nuke?
No,
yeah.
So here's the thing. Like, I don't rate Navi's Nuke that highly, but so I wouldn't give them a chance of beating Astralis at this tournament on Nuke. But I think like it's just a one-off victory on Nuke. I think we might have to look at a bit of an obscure pick.
Mousesports.
No, but again, like it would be like a team like this. Like so, again, we have this entire thing with domestic lineups and everything. I guess it's a bit of a stretch to say that North might be one of those teams. But again, like it has to be a team that not necessarily tier 1, but
that would make sense.
A specialist pick.
If it's North, especially because like that derby, like I kind of always
or Optic with MSL.
Well.
Like
that's how Valde finally gets on Astralis.
Takes them down. That's a surprise.
Yeah. I feel like one of those like specialist teams for Nuke would have the best shot of it, more so than your usual suspects.
I agree. I feel like it's someone we don't suspect is going to happen. Like, it'll be kind of out of nowhere. Yeah, kind of surprising.
But we're all wanting secretly a Na'Vi Liquid.
That would like if you're talking about like this event maybe, like if it gets to the best of threes, yeah, I guess maybe one of them. But I like how I was thinking of kind of exploring all the teams around like who might be able to do it. As I think that's the more important question here. Is I might not necessarily be one of these teams at this event. You never know. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Keep those questions coming in, guys, because we love hearing. I love hearing from everyone at home. I love hearing what because it's one thing us being here and experiencing it together, but to have you guys at home telling us
how many retweets do we need to get you to do a cartwheel in the stage right here?
It's not flossing. You know?
Has anything had a million retweets before?
Has anyone got a million retweets?
Should we get that going? Okay.
Playing it safe.
Let's see. Zenom has got us a new tweet coming in. It says, for you guys, who would reach the finals against Astralis?
I love the fact that he's always just like pre-picked Astralis for the finals.
It seems they are
Astralis,
certainly. Everyone's just expecting it now. I think Machine actually, a good friend of ours, Machine, obviously, tweeted out recently saying it's great to see the run that they're on at the moment, but it would be nice to see when they do kind of eventually start to drop in performance, seeing the Giants kind of rise, the Phoenix rise out of kind of whoever beats them, and a new team kind of coming through. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. But for the moment, Astralis very much are the team. Who do you think's got the biggest chance? We've talked about this already, but I mean, once again, lads,
I've got
who do you think?
Navi.
Yeah.
Again, might be a little bit swayed by Shanghai, but they played so well there. And it's not just like the fact that Simple and Electronic are going off. Edwards had a string of good tournaments as well, which has been quite a while since we've seen. Flamey has spurts every now and again where he does really well for himself. Obviously,
even Zeus at Star Series. Even Zeus at Star
Series.
Series.
Yeah, in terms of impact, right? So everyone on Navi just seems to be hitting a stride right now, which is kind of what they need, and to have that kind of perfect storm if you're going up against Astralis. So I'm liking their chances.
Certainly.
The thing about Liquid is that we haven't seen much of them since Sao Paulo.
Yep.
They took a map off of Astralis, which is obviously something not many people have done. Like Astralis have lost 4 maps in 2019 total. Just 4 maps.
It is insane.
And they've never won less than 11 rounds on any map, so that's just to put it out there. But if Liquid come prepared, and I think the question about Liquid is the map pool. Like to me, that's the thing, because on maps that Liquid do play, they're very good and dangerous, but they could never have enough going up against Astralis. So if they come here, they've prepared new maps into it, like Overpass, for example, because that could have been the second map they won in the final, but they got just battle on it. So it's the map pool is the question, because yes, if you look at the players, Liquid can go toe-to-toe with Astralis. I believe so.
Yeah, well, that's the most important matchup, I think, going into this one. The fact that Liquid are playing Astralis on Overpass here. If they do somehow win that game, I would say that pretty much guarantees them.
The only thing
unless something horribly goes wrong, but I feel like that would be it. But that's a good chance for them to do it.
The only thing that shook my confidence a little bit with Liquid was the Sao Paulo finals, because it was the rematch. It was the match that was supposed to happen at the major. It was the rematch to iPi Power or whatever, and then they just fell super flat, and it was like, whoa, are they even close anymore? Like, what happened? So until kind of they show that they can or are comfortable or can take, like, I don't know, a map and a half even, because they took the one map, but then they got absolutely stomped on Overpass, which was a map that was the third map in the final. They should have been good on it, but they look like just another one of, I don't know, Astralis' like pets, honestly.
A great question here. It's just coming in, fellas. I like this a lot. On Twitter, it says, Rose Darkins has said, what are your favorite movies or TV shows set in Miami?
Oh,
I mean, there are some beauties out there.
I guess
Ace Ventura.
There we go. There we go.
CSI.
Easy.
CSI?
CSI Miami.
That's I haven't seen it. Is it any good?
It wasn't quite. it wasn't quite Grissom and Vegas. That was for me was the big stuff.
Yeah,
it was CSI Vegas, but Miami was.
I guess Dexter was nice. Dexter was
Dexter
good.
was
Oh,
good.
there we go.
Yeah,
Dexter
that's a really good
I'll give
show.
him 4 seasons on that.
Yeah, Dexter was really good.
Yeah,
After
4
that, it
seasons.
was downhill.
I enjoyed Ballers as well, which is set in Miami.
Yeah, that's really
as far
good.
as I know. And for movies, I have to go with Ace Ventura. That's just such a classic. Laces out.
Do you know what I loved? Remember Bad Boys?
Bad Boys.
That was in Miami.
Yeah.
That was in Miami.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
The new one comes out soon.
You got Miami Vice as well, obviously.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
Yeah. Got kind of was that Colin Farrell and like Jamie Foxx? Were they in? Well, I mean, there was obviously the TV show as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a movie too. The movie that no one really
Pretty
saw.
Yeah.
That
more or
one.
less.
Yeah. But, Bad Boy. There's a new Bill and Ted coming out as well, guys. Bill and Ted.
What's
coming
that?
back. Shut up.
We
Does
don't
anyone
talk
need
about that.
another
I
Bill
don't
and
know.
Ted?
Yeah.
Do we need one?
Not really.
Like,
But I'm just saying, it's cool, isn't it?
It's I don't know about that. That
Okay.
one, it feels like it's just it's a little bit sad, I think.
Is it?
Like, just leave the
forced?
classics be classics.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to reboot everything?
Maybe it's
It's the same thing we have in games right now. Every game has to have a sequel. We
Sound
can't
like
just leave
you got
the
a
games
bone to
alone.
pick
Yeah.
right now, Henry.
Sorry?
I
Sound like
hate
you got a bone to pick.
I have, to be honest. I'm glad I got a platform
Henry
now to
is
really get out there.
furious. He is furious right now. Yeah, I'm all for kind of having new chapters, but remakes of movies, like, don't do it. I've heard there's rumors of a Back to the Future remake. Don't do it. You don't need it.
You don't need
It's not
it.
a thing
There's
you need.
3 already.
There's 3 already.
They're done.
They're done. Indiana Jones 5 scares me.
No,
that's a whole other thing.
God,
Crystal
yeah.
Skulls of Indiana Jones, they've already ruined it.
They've ruined it once.
They've absolutely
Don't
butchered
do it
the
again.
entire trilogy with that film.
I've no
your stance
doubt
on-
Steven Spielberg's
Oh, I got
watching
angry
right now.
now.
Don't do it, Steven.
What's your stance on the Star Wars movies then?
Oh,
What's that?
Don't
What's
get me
your
started,
stance on
Hannibal.
Star Wars?
The most recent one, Last Jedi, I thought was terrible. I wasn't a big fan.
The only
you
thing
know
in
there's more
cinema
coming,
these
right?
days is Marvel films or Star Wars films. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all that comes
Guys,
out.
yeah.
I don't get sick of it.
End game in 2 weeks, man. I've already bought my ticket, my midnight tickets where I watch Infinity War straight after at midnight. End game, back to back. I'm all in, baby.
Back to back.
I'm all in.
My goodness.
What do you think of that? Let us know in the chat.
Real game.
Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out. It's been amazing. It's going to be a great weekend. It kicks off tomorrow with you guys. I bet you can't wait to get started. Neither can we. But there's loads more happening here on Blast Backstage today. We've got all different teams. That the course of all the teams are going to come on and hang out with us. But in 10 minutes' time, MIBR are on with me talking all about the series coming your way this weekend. So any more questions you have, do make sure to get them in on social media. Make sure to use the hashtag Blast, capital Blast, Backstage. Chaps, thanks so much. Go and enjoy Miami. We'll see you tomorrow.
Surely.
We're back in about 10 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.